Metal Sonic. He is one of the better characters in the Sonic franchise, meant to be a replica of Sonic created by Dr. Eggman in order to match and even surpass Sonic's strength and speed. And no matter how many times Sonic and friends have defeated him, they can never really put an end to this metallic monster. So why is he so horribly utilized? You see, he first appeared in Sonic CD all the way back in 1993, and despite the lack of dialogue, you can clearly not only tell that Metal Sonic is Sonic's rival, but that he can be better than him by his design alone. Add this to the fact that the way the Metal Sonic boss fight is designed is that you have a race attributed to Sonic's defining feature, and even then, people loved him. But he would barely be seen, appearing in Sonic Drift 2 and as a cameo in Sonic Adventure until 9 years later with Sonic Heroes in 2003, which used him in one of the best ways, having him pretend to be Eggman to take control of the Eggman army and betray his master in order to achieve his goal of killing Sonic and to be the one true Sonic, and literally changing his body in order to try and defeat him. But after Heroes, he was never seen again in a serious manner, and it's a shame, because along with Knuckles, Metal Sonic has some of the most potential as a more prominent appearance in the Sonic games. And it's really sad because with what it seems, Metal Sonic won't be in the spotlight all that much, considering every new Sonic game introduces a new villain. But what if I told you I had actually lied about something from the start of the video? What if I told you that there wasn't a 9-year gap between Sonic CD and Sonic Heroes, where Metal Sonic appears in and is a central figure? And what if I told you that that piece of media Metal Sonic appears in is one of the most terrifying iterations of Metal Sonic we've ever had? Enter OVA Metal Sonic, aka Hyper Metal Sonic, a version of Metal Sonic featured in a rather obscure film called Sonic the Hedgehog the Movie, or more commonly the Sonic OVA, released in 1998. And this is one of the scariest versions of Metal Sonic we've seen. But in order to really get the full context, we need to get a brief summary of the story until Metal Sonic is actually an active character. So, in an area known as the Land of the Sky, Sonic and Tails are hanging out when they get an emergency call from the President. Surprisingly, they meet Eggman there, and they start to duel. But Eggman explains that one of his machines have gone haywire, and that his creation, Metal Robotnik, had taken over the Land of Darkness and all his robotic minions that were there, and that he also overloaded an energy device known as the Robotnik Generator, and that if Sonic doesn't make it in time, it'll destroy the entire planet. So, they travel through the Land of Darkness and Sonic shuts down the Robotnik Generator, but he also gets hurt in the process. And it turns out the Robotnik Generator's real purpose was to extract Sonic's DNA, which was the last thing Eggman needed in order to complete Metal Sonic, and it's just way downhill for Sonic and friends. Straight out of the gate, as soon as Metal Sonic is finished, he speed blitzes Sonic, not through an attack, but just to demonstrate his own capabilities. Didn't even punch him, just stood there while Eggman explains what Metal Sonic is. Eventually, Sonic gets tired of it and starts to charge to Eggman, but Metal Sonic isn't having any of that, and just teleports directly at Sonic's path and still doesn't hit him. And after Eggman starts to fight, Metal Sonic dives into Sonic, but Sonic dodges and the impact destroys the ground. And funnily enough, this is the only time Sonic actually successfully dodges Metal Sonic. Sonic and Metal Sonic then go up into the air and start fighting, but it's painfully obvious that Metal Sonic is way superior. He hits Sonic in the back, then grabs him as he is falling, and grabs him straight at Robotopolis, and they continue duking it out. Sonic completely loses sight of Metal Sonic, and he doesn't even surprise attack him, but instead he comes from the sky, winds his leg up, and hits him directly in the face, completely knocking Sonic out. And look at this frame, and tell me Metal Sonic has ever looked more menacing. The fight continues in the glaciers where Metal Sonic dives straight into the core, bringing out all the magma underneath. You know, this really reminds me of another movie. The fight seems like it's even with both Sonic and Metal Sonic blitzing each other, but Sonic hasn't landed a single blow on Metal yet. And after the film takes some time away to get to the other characters, and with this super iconic line,
"You might know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you since I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it?"
By the time we cut back to the actual fight, Metal Sonic is easily beating Sonic, and he's genuinely losing. And that's until Sarah calls out Sonic to stop, and because Metal Sonic is Sonic, he answers, and Metal takes the first hit taken, which wasn't even a fair hit, but it didn't matter as it barely did anything. And we see one of the coldest scenes in the entirety of Sonic. Just watch this. This is Metal Sonic, the true opposition to the blue blur, and after Sonic seems defeated, my man does not stop beating the crap out of him and starts choking him. He's completely defenseless until Tails affects Metal using their DNA, and Sonic gets another hit on Metal, which again is completely unfair, and that's the end of the fight. Or at least we're led to believe that is the case, but it isn't. Metal Sonic was damaged from that last attack, but he's still beating Sonic up, so much that it really seems like things are hopeless as the team kind of banked on Tails' invention. They continue battling, and Sonic gets yet another hit on Metal, but considering no one else can rival Metal, and the person who's supposed to rival him is losing to a battered and damaged version of him, things aren't going well. Finally, the damage Metal is taking starts to actually affect him, and Sonic gets the upper hand, and after Metal Sonic saves the president from an explosion, his machinery malfunctions majorly, and he actually falls into lava, thus really ending the fight. And that is the scariest version of Metal Sonic I personally think we've seen. Even Metal Overlord doesn't compare because the Chaos Emeralds were available, but here, there's absolutely nothing saving the crew. I guess my main take from the OVA is that this Metal Sonic isn't Metal Sonic, he's Metal Sonic. I just went over the Metal Sonic vs. Sonic scenes of the movie, but I highly recommend this OVA. It's genuinely one of the best things I've seen, and it's really not difficult to find. That being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is kind of like a shorter video, kind of to meet the 2-week quota. I am still in recovery from making that Sonic Adventure video, and I don't even know when part 2 is going to come out. It's probably going to be a while, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like and subscribe if you're cool. If you don't leave a like and you don't subscribe, you're actually like not cool at all. But if you like and don't subscribe, then you're kind of cool. I'm going to cut that. It's so fucking dumb.